The night was That wasn't George, I demanded. Then tell me your wife's name. Silence, then a reply. That's a trick question. My blood ran cold. I grabbed my phone and dialed George. He answered groggily, No, I'm at home. Why? My hand trembled. I whispered, Someone's at our door pretending to be you. Cheryl already had 911 on the line. Then, footsteps, heavy, circling the deck. Another set joined in. 2, maybe 3 people. One of them tried our window. The handle rattled. Cheryl screamed, Leave us alone! I shouted too, voice shaking, Get out or I'll shoot! For a moment, silence. Then pounding, furious fists on the door. My heart nearly stopped until I heard George's real voice. Open up! It's me! I pulled him inside, shotgun in his hands, but outside, nothing, no figures, no car, just the rain, and the dark fields whispering. The police arrived long after, too late to catch whoever or whatever was out there. They searched the property, nothing, no tracks in the mud, no sign of a car. George stayed with us till dawn. Neither of us slept. To this day, Cheryl and I still wonder who knocked on our door that night, and what would have happened if we had opened it. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. My name is Howard. I'm 25. I live on my family's farm in the middle of Arkansas. It's quiet here, too quiet sometimes. My parents own the land. When they're away, it's my job to take care of it. That summer, July last year, something happened that I'll never forget. My parents went on a trip. It was just me and my sisters, Crystal and Morgan. The nights are long here. The fields stretch into darkness. That night, Morgan and I were watching TV. Crystal was in her room, working on her laptop. The house felt calm until the dog started barking, furious, alarmed. Something was out there. I stepped outside into the warm night air. The dog stood stiff, eyes locked on the cornfield. Then I heard it, whistling, a human whistle, deep in the crops. My stomach tightened. Someone was in the field, watching, waiting. I rushed inside, grabbed the shotgun. My sisters begged me not to go into the field. They were right. The thought of walking into that cornfield in the dark was terrifying. So instead, I stepped onto the back porch. I fired a shot into the air. The sound thundered across the land, echoing through the fields. Get off our land, I shouted. For a moment, silence. Even the dogs went quiet. I went back inside. My sisters laughed nervously. We thought it was over. But then, the barking started again. Louder, wilder. I grabbed the gun and stormed back outside and froze. A man stood at the edge of the cornfield, no more than 20 feet away. The dog snarled at him, teeth bared. He didn't move, just stood there, staring at me. My throat tightened, my voice cracked. "Hey!" I screamed, but he didn't answer. The man tilted his head, like he was curious. Then he turned, slowly, and slipped back into the cornfield, and slipped back into the cornfield. The whistling returned, louder this time. I stood frozen on the porch, shotgun trembling in my hands. The dogs barked at the corn, but no one came out again. Minutes passed, then hours. We didn't sleep that night, none of us. The police came in the morning. They searched the fields. Nothing, no footprints, no sign of anyone. But I know what I saw. A man 20 feet away, and the sound of whistling that still echoes in my mind. The summer of 2018 felt endless on my grandparents' farm. Heat hanging over the fields like a blanket. They were away. I was alone. Paid to watch the place for a couple of nights. Paid to pretend I wasn't nervous. The house creaked. The TV glowed. Corn stood tall outside. A black wall under the sky. Then came the first sound, thin, unfamiliar. A strange noise, out in the corn. I told myself it was a deer, but the cows answered me all at once. A chorus of panic. One cow moose when it's hungry. All of them moo when something is wrong. My chest tightened. My job was to check. I grabbed my coat. I reached for the door. A high-pitched scream ripped through the night. A cow, but wrong. I froze. Boots heavy, breath shallow. Something terrible was happening in the barn. I ran upstairs to Grandpa's room. Guns under the bed, always there, always cleaned. I loaded his hunting rifle, hands shaking, metal cold. Outside, the night pressed close. The cows wouldn't stop. I crossed the yard to the barn. Inside, straw, heat, breath, and noise, head after head turned toward me. Roll call looked right until it didn't. One stall was empty. The rope hung loose. I could have sworn I tied him earlier. From the field came another high cry, far, then nearer. I stepped back outside, and I heard it. Voices, not one, not two, whispers carried by the corn. Enough. I lifted the rifle, aimed at the sky, and fired twice. Thunder rolled across the acres. Silence fell like a curtain. The cows quieted. The TV no longer mattered. No voices, no crying, just wind through leaves. Then, footsteps. More than one pair, left, right, circling. They kept pace with me as I stepped toward the field. I hesitated at the edge of the corn. Rows opened like narrow hallways. I didn't want to go in, but if trespassers own the night, they take the day too. I pushed into the stalks. Leaves brushed my face. The dirt was soft and damp. Footsteps matched mine, beside me, ahead, behind. "Who's out there?" I called. No answer. Something exhaled to my left. I swung the rifle that way. Nothing. The corn whispered back, shaking without wind. Another high cry, like a cow, but thin, almost human. I kept moving. My boots sank. My pulse thudded in my ears. The missing stall, the loose rope. Something had been let out, not dragged, led. "Drop my grandpa's cow and get off our land." Laughter answered me, soft, everywhere at once. Men, teenagers. I couldn't tell. The rows parted ahead, as if something slipped through them. I raised the rifle, not to shoot, just to steady my hands. A shape moved between stalks, tall and thin, then vanished. To my right, the footsteps multiplied. To my left, the breathing returned. Closer this time. I stopped. The field stopped with me. Silence. I took one step back. The field took one step forward. A rustle at my heel. A whisper at my ear. "Don't run," someone breathed. "Don't turn around." My skin iced over. I turned anyway. Nothing, only rows, only dark. I fired a round into the sky. Light flashed over the leaves. For an instant, I saw faces between the stalks, pale, watching, too many. Then blackness swallowed them. Something bolted ahead, hooves pounding, the missing cow running deeper. I shoved forward through the green maze, leaves cutting my arms. The footsteps scattered, then converged, surrounding me again. I stopped and aimed low. I shouted I would fire if anyone moved. No one moved. The whole field held its breath. Then, from the barn's direction, a single metal clang, a gate closing by itself. My courage broke. I backed out of the rows, one step at a time, rifle shaking. I reached open ground, turned, and the field stood innocent again. I checked the barn at dawn. Every stall filled, ropes tied neat. No sign of a missing cow. Hoofprints crisscrossed the mud like a riddle. No boot prints, no tire tracks. All night I'd heard voices, footsteps, laughter. All morning, I found nothing at all. I locked the barn, I locked the house, and I waited for daylight to feel like daylight again. I was paid for 2 nights of watching a farm. They didn't say the farm would watch me back. To this day, when the wind runs through the corn, I hear footsteps keeping pace with mine, and sometimes, far out where the rows end, I still hear a high cry that isn't quite a cow. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.